friends. So we have been learning about fiction and nonfiction books. We've discussed the differences between them. And then last week we talked about the different genres of fiction. Now I want to talk today about how those books get put on the shelf. Okay, but before I do that, I want to show you another fiction book, maybe something you might be interested in. This book is called Unusual Chickens for the Exceptional Poultry Farmer, and it is written by Kelly Jones with illustrations by Katie Kath. Now, this is kind of a silly book. It is all about a girl named Sophie who lives in Los Angeles, but her family has moved out to a farm. And this girl is not anyone who's ever been on a farm before. Okay, it's totally a new experience for her. And this book is written pretty much all in letters, okay, because Sophie writes a lot of letters in this book. I'm going to read to you the first letter, because what happens is when Sophie is exploring the farm, she finds this catalog, which is called Unusual Chickens for the Exceptional Poultry Farmer. Okay, so she writes a letter to the catalog because she wants some chickens. Okay, so here it is. Dear people who send catalogs to people on farms, my great uncle Jim had your flyer in his barn. I can't ask him about it because he passed away a couple of months ago. But we live on his farm now, and if I have to live on a farm, I think it ought to be an interesting one with chickens and ducks and maybe some peacocks or something. Right now, we don't even have tomatoes, just rows and rows of grapevines. And they don't even have grapes yet. I can't find your website anywhere. So Mom said I should write you a business letter and request a catalog. Your flyer says you have unusual chickens for the exceptional poultry farmer. I don't know what would make a chicken unusual, so maybe you'll send me your catalog and then I can stop wondering about them. I do think you should know I'm a very responsible 12-year-old. I did all my own packing and unpacking when we had to move. And I would be a good farmer. I always get A's on science projects, and I never forget to water my bean seed or anything. Also, I know how to make French toast and pancakes without catching anything on fire or burning myself or melting the spatula, unlike my dad. So you can see it would be handy to have chickens and a cow and whatever flour comes from. They would need to be cheap though. We haven't got much money. Thank you for considering my request. I look forward to hearing from you at your earliest opportunity. I think Mom must have found me some old letter format because no one talks like this. If I did this wrong, it isn't my fault. Sincerely, Sophie Brown. All right, so pretty much that's how this book goes. It's really Sophie writing letters to people. She even writes a letter to her grandmother in heaven. It's kind of like her own diary in a way of getting out her thoughts. There's also different things this author uses as well. At a certain point in the book, there's all information about taking care of chickens. There's even like a quiz that Sophie has to do. So, you get the story a little bit differently. It's through the letters, it's through the journals, it's through these different flyers that we see. But it tells the story of Sophie trying to make sense of this new world she's in and trying to find her way on this farm because it's totally a different environment than she has ever been in her life. And she does get a chicken partway through the book. And it is a very unusual chicken. And that chicken helps Sophie really get used to farm life. So I definitely recommend this book. It's very cool. It's very silly. Now, part of why I'm showing you this book is because I want you to understand how books get put on the shelf in the library. Okay, so fiction books and really any library book has something special about it. All right, so on a library book, do you guys know what this part of the book is called? This part right here is called the spine, okay? Just like we have a spine in our back that kind of keeps us all together, okay? The spine is the side of the book right here. And that's where kind of the binding of the book is. It keeps all the pages so they don't go flying everywhere. All right, so this is the spine of the book. And in a library, all of our books on the spine have a little label. It is called the spine label. Yeah, okay? It's a label on the spine. It's a spine label, okay? And on the label will be either letters or numbers. Those are called call numbers or call letters. All right, so for a fiction book, let me show you guys. Do you see that right there? On the top of the top call letter is an F, okay? All fiction books will have an F on top, and then below that is the letters J-O-N. All right, so what that tells us is this is a fiction book, and the author of this book, their last name starts with the letters J-O-N. All right, so with fiction, we always have the top is an F to say fiction, and below that is the beginning of the author's last name. Now, the reason why we put the author or part of their last name on the spine label is because fiction books are arranged alphabetically by the author's last name. Okay, so this is all about the alphabet. You know the alphabet, right? Sure, we know the song. We've been singing it for years. You're going to use that for this week's assignment. Okay, on the slides, you're going to be putting books in order based on their call letters. Basically, it's putting them in order by the author's last name. All right, so make sure you watch my other video in which I'm going to show you how to do this week's assignment. All right, friends, and if you're interested at the public library or at Amazon or Barnes & Noble, they might have this wonderful book, which is Unusual Chickens for the Exceptional Poultry Farmer. Once again, that's written by Kelly Jones. All right, guys, so please watch the next video before you do the assignment. And if you have any questions, definitely send me a message. Have a wonderful week, everybody.